years ago, Yi Xian met a beautiful woman from all over the world. 4 years later, she experienced a breakup with a materialistic woman and activated the Shenhao system. The host of the test was despised by his materialistic girlfriend and gifted to Villa X1 of Emperor Yuan 1. Gift 30 million yuan extended version Bugatti Veyron X1. Check for shyness in the host's pouch and give a gift of 10 billion renminbi and 10 times the consumption rebate. Test the host's first meeting with the daughter and reward them with a full level of appearance. Tongzi changed his ways to give various benefits, but Yi Xian admitted to being numb. Young master, Mu Yu is late. Miss Lu Meyer, you have not passed the family test and cannot become the young master's fiancée A.E. The stunning private butler bowed respectfully, and the materialistic girlfriend panicked. Xia Bingning. Husband, it's time for us to go to bed. From then on, Yi Xian went further and further on the path of divine wealth, and his heroic life began. Introduction. Powerless, please refer to the main text. Chapter 1. Just after being dumped, my materialistic girlfriend regretted it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brain storage area. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking it Jinling University. Downstairs of the boys' dormitory, there are not enough people gathered at this moment, and many young students are also present. Look, the goddess mayor is downstairs in the dormitory. Hey, it's hard to find Yi Xian. Nonsense, who can I find without him? The scene was bustling, and the balcony of the dormitory building was filled with people eating melons. At this moment, not far away, they were also watching the scene. Lu Meyer was one of the 4 major campus flowers of Jinling University, which made many people envious. Watching thousands of onlookers, Lu Meyer's mouth curved and she enjoyed the sensation of being highly anticipated. What's up? Yi Xian frowned and looked at his materialistic girlfriend in front of him. Just yesterday, he discovered that Lu Meyer had put a green hat on him. However, I never expected that he would dare to find himself so high-profile today. Yi Xian, let's break up. Wow. As soon as the explosive news came out, thousands of people were discussing and boiling. Lying trough. Mayor Goddess. Surprisingly, they came to break up. Ignoring the explosive atmosphere, she had anticipated it earlier. Before, it was me who was too naive. Now that I have been dating Wang Xiao, we are destined to be people from 2 worlds in the future. Blame it, you don't have the ability. Lu Meyer looked at Yi Xian with disdain. This guy was nothing but handsome. At first, I didn't know how I saw such a useless person. Ding. Detect the host breaking up with a girlfriend who worships money, activate the Shenhao system. Yi Xian was taken aback when he heard it, the system. It's been 4 years. Has the system finally been activated? I just didn't expect it to be activated in this way. This system is really weird. Seeing Yi Xian stunned, Lu Meyer's mouth curved arrogantly and looked at him contemptuously. This world is very realistic. You can't live a life that you've worked hard for a lifetime, and others have it since birth. This is the gap. The words of Zhu Xian are undoubtedly rubbing Yi Xian's dignity under his feet. Okay. Yi Xian's mouth curved slightly. This woman is really foolish, but I also want to thank her. If it weren't for this bitch breaking up, he wouldn't have activated the system either. I agree. Lu Meyer was taken aback for a moment. Although she had turned against Yi Xian, this guy's reaction was not right. Shouldn't this script be the guy pleading for her to stay and take over as her spare tire? The host of the test was despised by his materialistic girlfriend and gifted to Villa X1 of Emperor Yuan 1. Gift 30 million yuan extended version Bugatti Veyron X1. Check for shyness in the host's pouch and give a gift of 10 billion renminbi and 10 times the consumption rebate. As for the system, Yi Xian was taken aback by this operation. Cowardly. House, car, ticket. For a moment, Yi Xian would like to express his gratitude to Lu Meyer's ancestors for their 18 generations. Ding. To better equip the host, the system has equipped the host with a beautiful private butler. The stunning butler still has 5 seconds to reach the battlefield. A beautiful private butler. As for the system, Yi Xian was taken aback, but what kind of ghost did he get to the battlefield in 5 seconds? Boom! At this moment, the sound of the Beast's supercar came out, followed by an extended version of the Bugatti Veyron appearing in everyone's sight, followed by a BMW X5. Squeak! The car is parked in the field, push the door and get off. A person dressed in an OL uniform, with light chestnut long hair that added a touch of hazy beauty to the golden sunlight, especially her face that shook out Lu Meyer for countless streets. The most important thing is that the fiery devil figure is vividly outlined against the backdrop of the red long skirt. The front button may collapse at any time, wearing a black fishing net under the buttocks wrapped skirt, and wearing high heels exuding mature beauty all over. In an instant, everyone's gaze was drawn to it. Amidst the attention of the crowd, Su Muyue appeared in the audience and bent down, faintly able to see the beautiful arc. However, Su Muyue paid no attention to this. Young master, Muyu is late. Her pretty face was full of apologies, and then her gaze fell on the bewildered Lu Meyer across from her. Miss Lu Meyer, you have not passed the family test and cannot become the young master's fiancée AE. Young master, this is the yuan #1 villa you just bought, and there is also a 30 million yuan extended version of Bugatti Weilong. With a respectful attitude, it was obvious that Su Muyue was speaking diligently. What? Thousands of people around exploded in an instant, their eyes filled with disbelief as they watched the scene turn. Recumbent Groove, what's the situation? That Yi Xian is actually a hidden god, with a 30 million yuan supercar, and that imperial yuan #1 villa. It seems so. The market value of yuan #1 villa is 1 billion yuan, and it is also priceless. Good. The sound of swallowing saliva echoed from the throat, and it is undeniable that everyone was completely numb. The stunning goddess respectfully calls the young master, along with luxury cars and mansions. This. How could it be? Lu Meyer's heart was in a panic, taking the exam test. How could this be? Isn't that Yi Xian a poor loser? She has been tinkering around for a long time in the past 3 years, and she has missed something. Yi Xian. Actually, I still love you. Can I take back what I just said? Squeak! At this moment, another 10 million Lexus nanny car appeared in the audience, once again attracting everyone's attention. The automatic door of the nanny car opened, and 2 little guys appeared in the field. Baba. Found the cake. 2 cute fairy-like children appeared in the field, clattering and embracing Yi Xian's thigh. Shua. At this moment, everyone's gaze once again fell on Yi Xian, and I was a mother. Yi Xian. Surprisingly, everyone already has children. Seeing this, Lu Meyer's feet stumbled and her pretty face turned pale, as if a clown had been frozen in place for a moment. In the scene, it was as if a slap had hit her hard in the face. She had just complained that Yi Xian had no money, but now she has directly become a hidden god. Moreover, there were 2 fairy-like cute children who were actually the children of Yi Xian. It's refreshing to slap your face for a while. It's always refreshing to slap your face. Mr. Yi, the CEO has been busy lately and has asked 2 little guys for you to take care of them for a few days. A super secretary with excellent temperament said respectfully, as the president said, Xin Tong Tong is your daughter. If you don't believe me, you can do a paternity test. Test the host's first meeting with the daughter and reward them with a full level of appearance. As the voice fell, Yi Xian's appearance significantly improved. This made Su Muyue let out a faint sigh, and the young master felt he has become handsome again. Worry, are these 2 little guys in the system really my daughters? Returning to the host is true. The system continued to explain, 4 years ago, the host came to this parallel world. This system is afraid that the host will be lonely, so it rewards you with a peerless beauty. You will have 2 daughters after meeting them one night. Mr. Yi, the company is quite busy, so I'll leave first. Special Assistant Xiao Qian politely nodded at Su Muyue, turned around and drove away in a Lexus Nanny, leaving behind the chaotic crowd in the air. Yi Xian finally regained his senses and couldn't help but feel a bit confused. What kind of ghost? I already have children or twins. Chapter 2. Baba is so handsome, 10 times more handsome than the photo. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Baba, hug. The beautiful eyes of the two little ones were filled with longing, which made Yi Xian's heart melt. Perhaps it was due to blood ties. I am really your Baba. Holding the two little ones, Yi Xian felt an unprecedented sensation in his heart. Of course, there's your photo in the Ma room. As Xian spoke word by word, she was filled with anger and said, "It's Ma who won't let us find you. Baba, I miss you so much with a bright color." As she spoke, Tong Mua kissed Baba's handsome profile. Xian also needs to, not willing to be outdone. Xin also gave a kiss, making jealousy unrecognizable. Young master, Mu will go back and tidy up the villa first. Su Muyue was eating dog food from the young master and two young ladies, with a curved mouth begging for help. Go ahead. Yi Xian waved his hand, and it didn't matter if he had two small cotton padded jackets, a beautiful woman, a private butler, or a money-loving bitch. Gollum. At this moment, Xin's bright belly protested and shouted. I'm hungry with the fragrance of Baba. Tong is also hungry. The two little ones knew they were going to see Baba today and were so excited that they haven't even had breakfast yet. Let's go. Yi Xian hugged the two little ones and ran towards the extended version of the supermarket, saying, Baba will take you to a big meal. As the wild beast-like supercar sounded, it drove towards the school gate, leaving a trail of green smoke in place. A breakup farce directed by Lu Meyer ended with a dramatic ending. For a moment, many girls looked at Lu Meyer with sympathy in their eyes. If they were the goddess of Meyer, they would probably have cried and fainted in the toilet by now. The opportunity to marry into a wealthy family is so missed. Ding. Detect the host's first time driving a supercar and give it a divine-level driving skill. Immediately after, Yi Xian's mind surged with warmth, and a lot of information came out. Driving again feels unprecedentedly skilled, and in terms of driving skills, Yi Xian is now at least equivalent to an experienced driver in his 30s or 40s. The system really doesn't miss any opportunity to offer benefits. Baba, how handsome you are. 10 times more handsome than the photo. At this moment, Xian's voice came over, and Yi Xian's mouth curved when he heard it. That's right, it doesn't matter who I am, Baba, he said, he. The two little ones were giggling, their beautiful big eyes curved into crescent moons. Quickly arrived at one of the few top restaurants in Jinling. Sir, what would you like to order? In the private room, the beautiful waitress asked in a pleasant voice. Seeing her super handsome appearance, the beautiful lady blushed slightly. After all, her full-level appearance is not something to be said. Xin, Tong can order whatever she wants. Looking at the hopeful little eyes of the two little ones, he handed over the menu. Really? Long live Baba. After ordering the dishes, Yi Xian glanced at the menu and said, You have 2 bottles of Lafite from 1982. Take them with you later. Okay, sir. The waiter took a breath when she heard 2 bottles of 82-year-old Lafite. You should know that 1 bottle costs 68,000 yuan, and 2 bottles cost 134,000 yuan, which is her annual salary. Detect if the host is dining in a restaurant and does not meet the host's requirements. Give them divine-level culinary skills. The sound ringing in his ear, Yi Xian was taken aback. Is this okay? Easy to access, bring up the property panel. Name. Yi Xian. Age. 23 years old. Appearance. Max, second only to tomato reader. Ability. Divine driving skills, divine cooking skills items. Yuan number 1 Villa X1, 30 million yuan extended version Bugatti Weilong X1, 10 times consumption rebate, permanent, wealth. 10 billion renminbi. Looking at the attribute panel, Yi Xian curled up, which felt quite good. By the way, do you have any photos of numbness? Yi Xian let out a dry cough. For years ago, he only knew that he had met a beautiful woman. As for his appearance, he only vaguely saw it at first. Of course there is. Xian then took out her phone, fiddled with it and handed it to her father, saying, "Hee, Baba, this is our mama." Beautiful. Looking around, there was a girl in a red dress on her phone, with a stunning and beautiful face that even the private butler Su Muyue couldn't match. As for their physique, it is imaginable that they can raise the two little ones so spiritually. Yes. It's quite beautiful. Yi Xian let out a dry cough. He didn't expect that he had slept with a reclusive fairy back then. After investigation, Yi Xian also knew that the two little guys were named Xia Bingning. They now run a high-end cosmetics company called Bingning, and are also the daughter of Xia Group, a well-known enterprise in Jinling. Of course Mama is beautiful, but she rarely has time to accompany us. At this moment, Xin pouted and said. On the side, Tong nodded in agreement with the little chicken pecking at the rice, and the cute appearance of the two little guys was indescribably likable. After finishing the meal, come to the cashier. Sir, these are your 2 bottles of 82 Lafite. You spent a total of 358,000 yuan this time. Cashier girl, blushing as she spoke, felt like she had seen her future husband's appearance. Swipe your card. Yi Xian showed a charming curve, but it almost made the front desk lady sink. Oh my goodness, I feel like I fell in love with this handsome guy. What should I do? Ding. Congratulations to the host for consuming 358,000 renminbi and obtaining a consumption rebate of 3.58 million renminbi. A small trial of the ox knife feels quite good. Test the host's impression of the system and give it 1 billion renminbi as a gift. This if you have a good impression of the system, you can give money, which is truly a divine luxury system. It's very impressive. After leaving the restaurant, we arrived at the Dun Villa Group in about 15 minutes. At this moment, Chen Tianhe, the head of the sales office, personally welcomed him with a group of subordinates. He jokingly said that this was a god who had bought a billion yuan property king, and they couldn't help but ignore it. Welcome Mr. Yi to stay at Emperor Yuan Villa. Chen Tianhe bowed to show respect. Such a divine hero is fully qualified to make him so. Wow. Looking at the super beautiful Emperor Yuan Villa, Xian and Tong blinked their big eyes as if they could speak. Baba, is this our home? So beautiful, the two little guys fell in love with this place right away. The female saleswomen at the sales office were thrilled to see Xin Tong, who looked so beautiful and adorable. They were also eager for one, whimpering seeing the battle of raising red banners. Yi Xian looked at the sales office and had a bold idea. Director Chen, besides Villa number 1, which one is the most expensive here? Glancing at Chen Tianhe's chest badge, Yi Xian pondered for a moment and asked. Mr. Yi, come with me. Chen Tianhe personally led the way and then came to the micro real estate development. Apart from Villa 1, the most expensive one is undoubtedly Villa 8, which is the best choice in terms of lighting, location, and layout, with a price of 800 million renminbi. 800 million. Upon hearing this price, Yi Xian's mouth curved slightly, indicating another opportunity to not spend money. Chapter 3. What is the concept of earning 30 billion yuan in seconds? You are listening at novelfull.audio. I'll take it. Yi Xian squinted his eyes, and Chen Tianhe almost choked on his own saliva. Mr. Yi, you want to buy Villa number 8. This information really confuses him a bit. It's 8 billion yuan. As for the salespersons, they all like Yi Xianman one by one. It would be great if he were his boyfriend, and he definitely wouldn't have struggled for 20 years. Can't we? Watching Chen Changhe react, Yi Xian frowned slightly. Line. Of course it works. Chen Changhe suppressed his shock and then ordered his subordinates to handle the sales contract for Villa number 8 for Mr. Yi. Not long after, the beautiful saleswoman walked over with a sales contract in hand, and even deliberately untied the top button, revealing the beautiful scenery of the mountain peak. Obviously, putting them together might make two little fairy stepmothers. After signing the contract, Yi Xian nodded in satisfaction. Swipe your card. The sales office is very efficient, and it ends with a swipe of a card. Ding. Congratulations to the host for consuming 800 million renminbi and obtaining a wealth of 8 billion renminbi. As expected, Yi Xian's consumption rebate was 10 times that of 8 billion yuan, which made him feel quite good. Why not? Yi Xian looked at the micro-villa development and pondered for a moment. Director Chen, how much is left in the villa for Emperor Yuan now? This. Chen Changhe was stunned for a moment, then took out his phone and logged into the sales website. Cough cough, Mr. Yi. There are still over 40 sets of Emperor Yuan villa left, totaling about 3 billion yuan. 3 billion. Upon hearing this number, rebate 10 times consumption, that's 30 billion. Thinking of this, Yi Xian squinted his eyes, wondering when it would be better not to spend money at this moment. Okay. Yi Xian looked at the mini villa without much consideration and said, I'll take it all. Puff, Chen Changhe was completely numb and almost knelt on the ground. His eyes widened and he said, Mr. Yi, are you sure you want to buy all the villas in Emperor Yuan? Yi Xian waved his hand and then took out his bank card, saying, swipe your card first. Once you have completed the property certificate, you can directly send it to Villa number 1. Everyone at the sales office was gasping for breath, and their eyes towards Yi Xian changed, bold and domineering. Too arrogant. Rich people, are they all so stubborn? 3 billion yuan, without even blinking your eyelids. Hee, Baba is so handsome. Xin Tong Tong saw Baba showing off, her face full of joy and admiration. Excited heart, trembling hands. After Chen Changhe finished swiping his card, his mind went blank as he watched the 3 billion yuan received, as if it were a dream and unreal. Ding! Congratulations to the host for consuming 3 billion renminbi and obtaining a wealth of 30 billion renminbi. Without any accidents, Yi Xian returned 10 times the rebate and earned 30 billion yuan. Don't make this money too easily. Both big and small horses are brothers in front of him. May I ask, what is the concept of earning 30 billion yuan in seconds? They probably haven't experienced it before. Mr. Yi, take your time. Manager Chen is leading a group of salespeople to bow down 90 degrees and give them a gift. Are you joking? Such big shots, they dare not neglect a single penny. Hurry up. Everyone stopped their work and handled Mr. Ye's property matters. Chen Changhe breathed a deep sigh of relief and then waved his hand. After finishing, I'll treat you to a celebration banquet. Also, this month's bonus has tripled, no, 5-fold. Long live the supervisor. The sales staff at the sales office are extremely excited. My daily bonus has increased 5-fold, and each person can earn at least 100,000 yuan. It's so impressive. Squeak on the other side, with the sound of brakes, he stopped and arrived in front of the number 1 villa of Emperor Yuan. Su Muyue, the stunning private butler, has been waiting for a long time with 8 beautiful maids dressed in costumes. Welcome young master back home. Su Muyue bowed and said, while the 8 maids behind her all bowed together, with a sweet sound in her ear. Young master. Wow! Xin Tong Tong saw many beautiful maid sisters with small stars in her eyes and said, many beautiful sisters. Mama feels like there are many more romantic enemies. Tong Tong strongly agreed with the little chicken pecking at the rice and nodding its head. Yi Xian gave a bitter smile, obviously not expecting Su Muyue to be so dedicated, just looking extremely pleasing to the eye. The days ahead are truly more and more anticipated. Young master, how handsome. The maids were secretly glancing at their young master, whose appearance and temperament were completely their Prince Charming. Hee, there will be good luck in the future, oh no, good luck in the eyes. Mu Yu, take Xin Tong Tong to visit the villa. Okay, young master. Su Muyue's sweet voice was heard, and her gaze then fell on the beautiful maid. No beauty or figure was taller than Lu Meyer. Half an hour later, Su Muyue came to the balcony. Young master, you call me. Su Muyue looked at the handsome and domineering young master in front of her, her face flushed with fear that she might lose control of herself. But the young master is really too handsome. Yi Xian looked at Su Muyue beside him, and it was a pity that he didn't need such a tool. By the way, how much do you and the maids earn? This. Su Muyue didn't expect the young master to ask her this question, and continued, Young master, Muyue's annual salary is 5 million, and the maid's annual salary is 1 million. That's it. Yi Xian pondered for a moment, while Su Muyue panicked and thought that the young master disliked the high salary. Young master, if you feel that the salary is high, I can reduce it by 3 million yuan, and the maid's salaries can be reduced to 500,000 yuan. For no other reason, just because of such a handsome young master, she really didn't want to find a place to stay. At first, she thought she was a greasy old man. Give me your card number. Yi Xian thought for a moment and said, but Su Muyue's face turned red. She took out a bank card and her heart was very nervous. The young master didn't know how to dismiss yourself. What should we do? I don't want to leave such a handsome young master ding-dong at this moment. Su Muyue's phone received a text message. Dear user of China Construction Bank, your account ending in 3284 received 130 million renminbi on March 8, 2024. Please check your account carefully. Construction Bank, looking at the text message on her phone, Su Muyue's beautiful eyes paused, full of disbelief. This was fraud. No, it's official from China Construction Bank, Mu Yu, this is your and the maid's salary for the next 10 years. Ah. Upon hearing the words of her young master, Su Muyue opened her mouth in surprise and her face was filled with excitement without any concealment. It's not because of 10 years of salary, but because she can stay by the young master's side now. Thank you. Thank you, young master. Su Muyue's face turned red with excitement. If possible, she really wanted to go up and kiss the young master, and then said, I'll go and send it to the maids. If they knew, they would be extremely happy. Go ahead. Yi Xian smiled slightly, and it was pretty good to give the butler and tool person a try. Ding. Congratulations to the host for consuming 130 million renminbi and obtaining a wealth of 1.3 billion renminbi. Listening to the sound ringing in his ear, Yi Xian curled his lips. If this trend continued, it wouldn't be long before he could buy the whole world. Chapter 4. This is Baba's gold-worshipping girlfriend's cousin and her father. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Baba, where are we going? Xin sat in the car, looking forward to asking about Baba. She felt that even the air was sweet when she was with Baba. Century City, go shopping really. Upon hearing about going to the mall to buy something, both little ones had stars in their eyes. Indeed, shopping is a girl's instinct, not related to age. Of course, Yi Xian stepped on the accelerator and drove towards Jinling Century City, with the sound of maids bidding farewell from behind. Goodbye, young master. A sweet voice came to Yi Xian's ears, and the corners of his mouth curved. This visual and auditory enjoyment, now accompanied by a stunning wife and two super cute cotton jackets, was nothing more than the pinnacle of his life. Soon, Jinling Century City. Park the car and take the two little ones into Century City, heading straight for luxury goods. Brushing money. Natural luxury goods should be the top choice. Welcome. Arriving at a high-end luxury flagship store, the two little guys were extremely curious and looked around, especially the shiny things that piqued their interest. Wow, Baba, look at that bag. It's so beautiful. As soon as I entered the store, I saw the bag placed in the most prominent position. If Mama wears it, it will definitely look super beautiful. Shout! At this moment, a mocking voice came over. Isn't this the campus grass of Jinling University? Looking around, Yi Xian suddenly recognized that the person was Lu Qianer, the cousin of Lu Meier, his former girlfriend who worshipped money. Mr. Zhao, this is my beautiful cousin's blind boyfriend. Glancing at Yi Xian, he then arrogantly said, however, I've been dumped by Meier now. Oh. Upon hearing Lu Qianer's words, the middle-aged man's gaze fell on Yi Xian and said, Kid, I turned out to be a college student. I am the director of Dingxing Group. Do you need me to introduce you to a job? The sarcastic tone is not concealed, and middle-aged men naturally do not take a furry boy seriously. Moreover, in front of their own women, they naturally have to show enough face. Baba, who are they? Xin looked curiously at the two people who appeared, feeling unfriendly to Baba. They must be bad people. Oh. Yi Xian glanced and said, this is the cousin and father of Baba's girlfriend who worships gold. Puff, the middle-aged man almost had his lungs explode, and Lu Qianer's pretty face turned pale. That kid is really despicable. Mr. Zhao, this bag is so beautiful that they want it. Lu Qianer rubbed against the middle-aged man's arm, which made his eyes hot. Yesterday, this woman put in a lot of effort. 300,000. Seeing the price of the bag, the middle-aged man was taken aback. He knew that his annual salary was only 1.5 million, so he naturally wouldn't buy such an expensive bag for a playful woman. Qianer, what's good about this bag? There's the latest version of this year next to it. Yi Xian raised the corner of his mouth, naturally sensing the thoughts of the middle-aged man. I'll take this bag. Lu Qianer didn't leave for a few steps, only to hear a familiar voice. When she turned her head, she found that the person making the sound was Yi Xian. How could it be? That kid, just a poor loser, can afford a bag for 300,000 yuan. Okay, sir. The waiter in the store nodded respectfully and then asked, by the way, we also have black and red options for this bag. I don't know, would you like to choose? No need, I'll take everything. Ha. The middle-aged man's eyes widened, and that kid all you want. Xin Tong, feel free to buy whatever you like. Xin Tong then selects hairpin, bracelet, perfume. Sir, your total consumption this time is 1.2 million yuan. Would you like to pay in cash or by card? After scanning the code, the beautiful front desk lady asked. Swipe your card. Taking the bank card, Yi Xian heard a rebate sound in his ear. Ding! Congratulations to the host for consuming 1.2 million renminbi and obtaining a wealth of 12 million renminbi. What? Watching Yi Xian and the others leave, Lu Qianer's face was full of disbelief. If 1.2 million yuan were spent, that kid might not have been taken care of, but rather a wealthy second generation. Detect the host's face and offer a gift of 1 billion renminbi to his girlfriend's cousin, who paid a lot of money. As soon as he left the store, Yi Xian was taken aback. The guy gave a rebate of 10 times and earned 12 million yuan, which was enough. His girlfriend's cousin, who paid a lot of money in front of him, could still trigger a reward. Is this system really good? Let's go to the next house. In a good mood, Yi Xian took two little guys to the luxury shoe and clothing area. Baba, this dress is super beautiful. Buy. Baba, look at these shoes. Buy. 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 Yi Xian didn't even think about saying it. The salespersons were envious of their arrogance, whether they wanted to spoil women like this or not. I really like it, and it's also so handsome. Ding. Congratulations to the host for consuming 2.1 million renminbi and obtaining a wealth of 21 million renminbi. After leaving, I visited several luxury goods areas in a row and spent almost tens of millions in total. Dingling bell at this moment, Xinxin's phone rang, and Xia Bingning suddenly called a video. Click to connect. Ma ma, a sweet and fragrant voice was heard, and Tong Tong also leaned in. Xin, Tong Tong, have you lost your senses? The stunning girl across from her, with a pretty face and a smile, doted on her and asked. Ma, we are in Century City, and Baba has bought us a lot of things. Baba, come on, Ma's on the phone, Tong Tong said excitedly, followed by a divine assist. After hearing this, Yi Xian let out a dry cough and looked at the stunning girl across from him. Hello. Come to Kowloon Villa tonight and meet you. Taking a deep breath, Xia Bingning said, after all, this side will be seen sooner or later, and she can see that the two little ones are very happy with that one. Okay. Yi Xian nodded and agreed upon seeing the stunning girl. Soon, I hung up the phone. On the other side. Ding dong, a middle-aged man received a message from a friend. Yi Xian, 23 years old, resides in the number 1 villa of Emperor Yuan, drives a 30 million yuan extended version of the supercar, suspected to be the fiancée of Xia Bingning, a daughter of the Xia group. What? Seeing this, Mr. Zhao's back felt cold. His friend was a skilled hacker, and the reason why he achieved today's success was due to his friend's support. By all the villas of Emperor Yuan, Xia Bingning's fiancée. Gudu swallowed his saliva. He didn't expect that Lu Qianer's cousin's ex-boyfriend was actually a hidden god. Zhao, what's wrong? As soon as Lu Qianer finished speaking, she was knocked over by the middle-aged man and then took out a stack of banknotes from her wallet and sprinkled them on her body. Mad, I almost got killed by you. Getting into the car, the middle-aged man glared at Lu Qianer and said, bitch, break up. Zhao, you. Before Lu Qianer could finish speaking, the car had already driven away. Just now, she said she would take good care of herself at night. How could this be? Chapter 5. Ma, you can't fight for Baba with us, do you know? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Are you happy? Returning to the car, Yi Xian curled his lips and indulged in it. Xian and Tong Tong, two little chicks, pecked at the rice and nodded their heads, saying, I'm so happy, thank you, Baba, Mua. Two little guys gave Baba a happy kiss, one on the left and one on the right, which made Yi Xian feel like a kitten scratching in his heart. It turned out this is the feeling of being a father, it's so wonderful. With one foot on the accelerator, Yi Xian rushed out and enjoyed a decent pushback feeling. If so, it would be even better if this supercar could be more comfortable. For a moment, Yi Xian was discussing so inwardly. The testing host is dissatisfied with the supercar and is giving it as a gift to Lamborghini Devil's Son. Lying trough. After a little roast, the system directly gave a Lamborghini Devil's Son, which is more than what he heard. It is said that the private customized version is worth 100 million yuan. Half an hour later, Kowloon Villa. Wow, we're going back to Mama's house. Xin Tong Tong saw the familiar villa in front of her and chattered excitedly. Mama, come out quickly, we're back. Two little guys wearing nice clothes ran into the villa. Looking at the elegant layout of the villa, it is evident that Xia Bingning is a very disciplined person, with the pleasant aroma of rice emanating from the kitchen. Does that girl know how to cook? At this moment, a pretty girl wearing a red dress and an apron came out of the kitchen carrying vegetables. You're here. Xia Bingning's face flashed and she blushed. Although she was the CEO and boss of a high-end cosmetics company, her love life stopped when she met 4 years ago that night. Seeing Yi Xian's fiery gaze fixed on her, Xia Bingning's face turned even redder and she said, "What are you looking at?" "Cough, I didn't expect you to be able to cook." Xia Bingning's eyes turned white and Yi Xian said, "Otherwise, I wouldn't trust 2 little guys to take care of the nanny." "I'm sorry." Yi Xian let out a dry cough and looked at the beautiful girl in front of him. "I've suffered a lot in the past 4 years, right?" Xia Bingning felt inexplicably heartbroken and then smiled. "It's okay, it's all over." Detect that Xia Bingning's favorability towards the host has increased, and bestow the ability to sound in its environment. Upon hearing this, Yi Xian was taken aback and his liking increased. "All right. Try the baba quickly. Mama's cooking skills are excellent." Xin was on the side, eating melons as she spoke. "Okay." I took a bite of the dish and savored the taste. It must be said that the taste was very good, but of course, it was incomparable to his divine cooking skills. It was just extremely impressive compared to ordinary people. Then, Xia Bingning took out a contract from the side. "Yi Xian, this is the marriage agreement I drafted." Xia Bingning's face fainted slightly and she said, "If there's no problem, then sign it." Marriage agreement. Yi Xian was taken aback upon hearing this, and then his gaze fell on the contract. "As compensation, I will give you 10 million yuan every month. Also, I can be your girlfriend to meet your friends and relatives." Speaking of which, Xia Bingning clenched her delicate hands tightly and fought hard to ensure that the 2 little ones did not lack fatherly love. And she. But I don't know, Yi Xian is even richer than the Xia group at this moment. After dinner, it was already late at night. "Cough, what's going on? Why don't I go back first?" Glancing out the window, Yi Xian coughed and said. "Baba, isn't it? Don't leave, okay?" Upon hearing this, Xin's face was filled with nervousness, and her small hand quickly grabbed Baba's hand to prevent him from leaving. "It's getting late." Xia Bingning couldn't bear to see the 2 little ones and said, "Why don't we just live here?" I breathed a deep sigh of relief. Anyway, the 2 of them will have to live together sooner or later, so it's better to adapt in advance. Xia Bingning thought so. "I'll go wash the dishes." Xia Bingning noticed that the atmosphere was a bit strange, and she hurriedly entered the kitchen, completely unable to see the aura that a domineering CEO should have. "Yi Xian, you can take a second sleep tonight." After washing the dishes, Xia Bingning looked at the nearby guest room and said, but before she could finish speaking, the 2 little ones became unhappy. "Isn't it? We need to eat sesame seeds and sleep together." Xian shook Xia Bingning's delicate hands pitifully, saying, "Is it okay, playing coquettish and cute?" Yi Xian's lips curled up, truly worthy of his own little cotton jacket. "You." "Hey," obviously, the 2 little ones tightly grasped the numbness, knowing that this was the most effective. The 2 little guys pushed and shoved, and thus entered the master bedroom. "Yi Xian, take a look." Xia Bingning's heart suddenly quickened. She had never had such close contact with a boy, except for the night 4 years ago when she met him and said, "I'm going to take a shower." Carrying a change of pajamas, he crawled into the bathroom. "Hee, I can sleep with Baba Mama at night." So happy," Xin was chattering on the side, unconsciously giving Baba Mama a wave of divine assistance. In the bedroom, it is clean and tidy, with a pleasant aroma similar to that of Xia Bingning. Patter by patter quickly, the sound of water in the independent bathroom echoed in Yi Xian's ear, presenting his graceful figure through the one-way glass. If the one-way glass was cancelled, then pooh, what are you thinking? While quickly, Xia Bingning put on her clothes and walked in. Looking at the stunning girl in front of her, Yi Xian gulped down her saliva and froze in place. Xia Bingning felt the scorching gaze and blushed. "What are you looking at?" "Wife, how beautiful you are." Yi Xian couldn't help but sigh and continued, "It's hard to imagine how much bad luck I had 4 years ago." Xia Bingning gave her a white glance, but strangely, she didn't feel disgusted when she looked at her. "I didn't expect you to be so smooth-tongued," she said, "how could it be?" Yi Xian said solemnly, "I swear, you are the most beautiful girl I have ever seen." Cut. At this moment, the two little ones felt ignored, their cheeks full of anger and numbness, and they even competed with them for a piece of cake. "Baba, I want to listen to stories, me too." Xin chattered and tugged at Baba, then cautiously looked at Mama and said, "Mama, you can't compete with us for Baba, do you know?" Xia Bingning. Upon hearing these words, Xia Bingning's beautiful eyes widened and her face turned red. Who would compete with them for that guy? What are you talking nonsense about? However, she didn't say it because she was afraid of making things worse. Humph! Xin Tong glanced at them with a numb expression, as if she couldn't deceive them. This made Xia Bingning's mouth twitch. Are these two little guys crazy? Detect the host being protected by 2 daughters' calves, reward 1 billion renminbi. Pushy. The sudden words from the system made Yi Xian laugh, but Xia Bingning's face turned even redder, thinking that guy was making fun of her. Damn it! What are these 3 guys doing? Leave that guy alone for the night. Is that really right? Chapter 6. Stinky Mama's faint debate. We all hear you call Baba husband. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. That guy. Staring at Yi Xian, this was the first time we met and it drove me crazy. If we had been together for a long time, it would have been okay. Let me tell a story about the ugly duckling. After thinking for a moment, Yi Xian said, after a swan egg was hatched by a mother duck in a duck's nest, it was considered an ugly duckling by everyone because of its unique appearance. Therefore, since it crawled out of the eggshell, it has been beaten, excluded, and ridiculed everywhere, not only in duck flocks but also in chicken flocks. With the blessing of their ability to sound in their surroundings, the two little ones seemed to have entered the world of the ugly duckling, and even Xia Bingning was stunned. That guy's voice is so addictive. Even before her eyes, there was a world of ugly ducklings, with a swan egg being ostracized after the mother duck hatched, and then mocked by other animals. No wonder he made the two little ones like him so much in such a short time. I have to admit, this story is much better than what she told. As the story progressed, the two little ones blinked their expectant eyes and quietly admired Baba even more. Quickly, the story ends. Wow, Baba, the ugly duckling is so brave. Xian chattered excitedly, those animals are so despicable, hee, so the ugly duckling is a white swan. Seeing the excited expressions of the two little ones, Xia Bingning looked deeply at Yi Xian. Although it was a fairy tale, it allowed her to draw positive energy from it. Persist in yourself and never give up on dreams, it sounds really nice. Baba, would you like another one? Playing coquettish and cute, Yi Xian felt extremely happy and more satisfied with the system operation. Okay. Then, I'll tell you a story about Little Red Riding Hood. With a light cough, the sound was once again blessed. Then, with Yi Xian's words, the two little ones entered Little Red Riding Hood's world. From the beginning, Little Red Riding Hood met the big bad wolf, who ate his grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood before being rescued by a hunter. The heart-wrenching scenes one after another, as if the Little Red Riding Hood was themselves. So, Yi Xian continued to talk about Snow White, Little Pea, Little Match Girl, accompanied by exciting fairy tales. The two little ones fell asleep at a certain moment. I didn't expect you to be quite good at telling fairy tales. Xia Bingning looked at the two sleeping little ones, and telling stories at night was her biggest headache, but it seemed quite simple on this guy. That's right, there are so many amazing things about your men. Looking at the stunningly beautiful girl in front of her, Yi Xian was proud and coquettish, which made Xia Bingning chuckle. This guy seemed to be different from what she had imagined. It's getting late, go to bed. Xia Bingning's eyes turned white as Yi Xian quietly brought their relationship closer. Good night. Yi Xian curled his lips and fell asleep like this. The next morning, in the morning. The golden morning sun poured into the room, and Xia Bingning, with her stunning face, struggled with her eyes and then opened them, only to find that Yi Xian's figure was no longer beside her. Xia Bingning faintly heard the sound of cooking downstairs, and it was unbelievable to think that she had listened to a fairy tale all night yesterday. That guy won't be cooking, will he? Thinking of this, Xia Bingning woke up cautiously, afraid of waking up the two little ones. Oh, as soon as she opened the door, the fragrance came straight from downstairs. Xia Bingning couldn't help but feel refreshed, and the only hint of drowsiness dissipated. What's that guy doing? He smells so fragrant. Gudu, I couldn't help but swallow Xiangjin, and even my lower abdomen protested and growled. He stepped downstairs and saw a bowl of noodles in soup on the table. Unexpectedly. It's noodles in soup. Xia Bingning looked at the noodles in soup on the table strangely. Apparently, she did not expect that the plain noodles in soup could be so delicious. Wife, you're awake. Seeing the stunned Xia Bingning, Yi Xian curled his lips. It would be a pity if such a kind-hearted and beautiful wife were not taken away. Just made noodles in soup, try your man's cooking skills. You. Okay. Xia Bingning, whose taste buds are blooming, is too lazy to care about someone taking advantage of her. Lu, after eating noodles in soup, Xia Bingning's eyes brightened. Yi Xian, you are so good at cooking. Of course. After hearing this, Yi Xian arrogantly said, I am the frozen man in my family. What are you talking nonsense about? Xia Bingning blushed, but did not delay her from eating noodles in soup. Her heart was beating violently. The guy was more and more daring. I am a domineering female CEO, why can't get tough, curious. Hee, I feel like we could really be a couple in the future. Xia Bingning's eyes turned white and Yi Xian's face turned red. Nature. When I signed the agreement and contract with you, I already gave you this opportunity. At this point, Xia Bingning continued, however, if we don't have any feelings before the agreement marriage ends, we will still separate. So what? Xia Bingning pursed her vermilion lips and said, Husband, oh no, Yi Xian. Can I have another bowl? Xia Bingning, who made a momentary slip of the tongue, blushed and spread to the back of her ear. Oh my goodness. Just now, he actually called him husband, that guy probably didn't recognize it. What do you call me? Yi Xian was quite shocked and looked at Xia Bingning incredulously, hee, husband. Not to mention one bowl, even 100 bowls are fine. Stinky and numb. At this moment, Xin Tong Tong arrived downstairs at an unknown time and said angrily, You're competing with us again for a cake. Humph, a minute ago, they got up and found Baba missing. They hurried out of bed and followed the smell of noodles in soup downstairs. Go there, Xia Bingning glared at the two little ones and said, What are you talking about? Stinky Mama is still sophistry. We just heard you call Baba husband and coquettishly say, another bowl. Xia Bingning. How could you eavesdrop on me? Indeed, Xia Bing was so numb that she didn't expect the embarrassing scene to be seen by both of these little guys. Xin Tong Tong, come and have some noodles. Yi Xian tried to smooth things out and said that even if it continued like this, his wife would have to find a crack in the ground to get in. Well, sure enough, noodles and soup enticed the two kids to shift their attention. Baba, is this the noodles you made? How fragrant. Soon, two little boys were captured by noodles and soup, and successfully harvested two little girls. As for Xia Bingning, who also ate noodles in soup in a bowl, eating 2 large bowls in the morning should have no impact on weight loss. Chapter 7. 3.8 billion. Young master, is he a bit of a loser? You are listening at novel full. Audio. Hiccup. Xiaoye burps with no image. She has 2 bowls of noodles and soup, both of which have set her own records. You're so angry. What should I do if I get fat? It's the guy who makes noodles in soup so delicious. I'll go to the company first. Feeling Yi Xian's gaze, there were 2 little ones who had just been aggressive, and 30.6 strategies were taken. Humph, Baba, Mama is so despicable that he even snatched you from us. Xian Tong Tong is obviously revenge. She complains about her numbness. It's obvious that after seeing Baba, they suddenly lose their fragrance. Alright. How could Mama compete with you for rice cakes? Let's go, today Baba will take you to a good place, said Yi Xian with a thought-provoking curve at the corner of his mouth. Okay, Xin Tong Tong was excitedly helping Baba clean up the dishes, but they couldn't bear Baba to work alone. If Xiaoye sees this scene, she may become jealous. She cooked meals for 2 little guys for over 3 years, but she didn't receive such treatment. Leave the villa and come to the largest neighborhood in Jinling. Previously, he wouldn't come here without money, but now it's different. The moment Yi Xian left the villa, a figure in the dark squinted its eyes. Hello, Zhang Xiao. A kid stayed overnight at Xiaoye's villa, and he has a very good relationship with Xiaoye's 2 daughters. Upon hearing this person's words, a cold voice came from across. What are you saying? Keep a close watch and help me identify that kid. Yes, Zhang Xiao. The person heard that the corners of his mouth curved, and then looked towards the direction of Yi Xian's disappearance, saying, that kid is going to be miserable. Xiaoye can't be provoked by anyone. Treasure Pavilion. The purpose of coming here is very clear. Over the past 4 years, he has gained a clear understanding that the antiques here are twice as fake, and there is no need to worry about integrity. Ding. Detect the host entering the antique shop and give them a divine-level treasure appreciation ability. Upon hearing the sound ringing in his ear, Yi Xian was taken aback. Divine-level treasure appreciation. This ability is good. Is the system worried about being deceived, even though he doesn't care about it? Because being deceived will only make him earn more. Later, Yi Xian's gaze fell on a white jade bowl in the store, on which a string of messages stood out. Han Dynasty White Jade Bowl. Han Dynasty Authentic. The jade bowl is slightly bluish-white in color, with thin walls like paper, circular in shape, open in mouth, rounded in legs, and glossy inside and outside. Appraisal price. 300,000 renminbi. Little friend, what can I do for you? At this moment, a middle-aged man approached and looked at the jade bowl in his hand with a smile, saying, Little friendly eye, this is a Han Dynasty white jade bowl, which can be considered a mid-range jade artifact. I think you have a chance, so. How about 400,000 yuan? Oh. Upon hearing the boss's words, Yi Xian's eyes narrowed slightly. No wonder the system gave him a divine-level treasure appraisal ability. If he were to fall for it, he would be a bit frustrated. Boss, although there are no counterfeit items in the treasure pavilion, this jade bowl is worth at most 300,000 yuan. Cough. Zhao Tianlai coughed and blushed at his old face. You seem to be an expert, he said with shame. However, how about making our small shop earn 310,000 yuan too? 300,000, a flat voice echoed, I bought more than one item today. Okay. Zhao Tianlai gritted his teeth and set a price of 300,000 yuan. The boss is a delightful person. Since that's the case, I'll take all the antiques in your store. Zhao Tianlai. Little friend, are you sure? Xin Tong Tong saw the boss's appearance and chuckled. Although she didn't know what she was doing, she felt that Baba was super powerful. Half an hour later. Zhao Tianlai summarized the prices and took a deep breath. Our store now has a total of 328 antiques, totaling 150 million. Swipe your card. Yi Xian took out his bank card and handed it to Zhao Tianlai, but Zhao Tianlai's eyelids twitched as he ran into a major client today. After swiping the card, Yi Xian then dialed Su Muyue's phone number. Muyu, I bought some antiques from Jinbao Pavilion in Jinlingfang City. Take them back to decorate the villa. Okay, young master. Sweet voices were heard, and Su Muyue dared not procrastinate at all. That guy. He's so bold. The employees of the Treasure Pavilion looked at Yi Xian with changed eyes, as if he didn't even blink. Ding! Congratulations to the host for consuming 150 million renminbi and obtaining a wealth of 1.5 billion renminbi. The sound in his ear curved the corners of Yi Xian's mouth. Then, call up the property panel. Name. Yi Xian. Age. 23 years old. Appearance. Max, second only to Tomato Reader. Ability. Divine driving skills, divine cooking skills, divine massage, divine treasure appreciation, and immersive voice in the environment items. Yuan number 1 Villa X1, 30 million extended Bugatti Veyron X1, 10 times consumer rebate, permanent, Lamborghini Devil's Son wealth. 41.8 billion renminbi, let's go. Baba will take you to buy something else. Amidst the dazzling gazes of the owner of the Treasure Pavilion, the three of them left the shop, leaving everyone in chaos in the wind. The world of wealthy people is truly exciting. On the other side, Villa number 1 of Emperor Yuan. Excuse me, are you Miss Su? Chen Changhe arrived at the villa and respectfully greeted Su Muyue. After all, this could be considered as Yi Xian's confidant. Oh. Su Muyue frowned when she saw the newcomer and said, Are you? Miss Su, I am Chen Changhe, the head of the Dun sales office. Here is my business card. Chen Changhe handed the business card in his hand to Su Muyue, then asked his subordinates to open the car door, and a box of property certificates suddenly appeared. This is Mr. Ye's purchase of all the villas owned by Emperor Yuan. Adding number 8, a total of 45 villas worth 3.8 billion renminbi. What? As soon as Su Muyue said this, she looked at a box of property certificates again and couldn't calm down. This. Young master, he bought all the villas in the Emperor Yuan Villa Group. The maids took a deep breath to make sure they were not dreaming. 3.8 billion. Young master, is he a bit of a loser? Time flies, it's nightfall. Let's go home. Yi Xian drove towards the direction home, and Xian nodded her head one after another. Hee, today is super happy. Thinking about buying a lot of things, the two little ones chattered. Dingling bell at this moment, Yi Xian received a call from Xiaoye. Hey, my wife misses your man so quickly. After answering the phone and jokingly laughing, Xiaoye's face turned red when she heard it. You. Who is your wife? Xiaoye looked at the employees working outside the office with a guilty expression and breathed a deep sigh of relief. She hesitated for a long time before making this phone call. Because, since eating that guy's noodles in soup in the morning, I feel that other meals have no appetite at all. Speaking seriously. You come to the villa, I'll rest tomorrow and take Xin Tong Tong and them out to play. As she spoke, Xiaoye's face turned red. It was her first time lying, but the thought of that guy's delicious cooking couldn't help but make her crave. Well. Okay. Yi Xian didn't want to agree much, and the corners of his mouth curved. Xiaoye had just finished hanging up the phone when the special assistant Xiao Qian came to the office and said, Mr. Xia, there are several important meetings tomorrow. Look. Push them all out. Xiaoye immediately refused, causing Xiao Qian to be stunned and incredulously confirmed, push it all away, Mr. Xia. Are you sure? Chapter 8. Wife, is my mother. Law coming. You are listening at novel full. Audio. Kowloon Villa. Wow, Baba, come on. It's so amazing. The two little guys looked at the super skilled Baba in the kitchen, their eyes full of stars. Click at this moment, Xiaoye arrived at the villa and happened to hear the exclamation of two little guys, so she couldn't help but look around. The hand shadow fluttered and the blade flickered. Beautiful radish flowers appeared on the plate, and even 5-star chefs felt inferior here. Obviously, in order to make delicious food for the two little ones, Yi Xian, who was a spoiled girl, also fought hard. That guy. His cooking skills are even better than he imagined. Xiaoye also gathered around and watched quietly. From her perspective, Yi Xian was super handsome and looked very charming when taken seriously. Good guy. Fortunately, I arrived early today, otherwise I can't even discover his amazing cooking skills. Ding. Test your wife Xiaoye's worship and gift it to master martial arts. Yi Xian, who was busy, suddenly had a lot of information in his mind. Fist, palm, sword, and sword techniques all reached the level of a master, which left Yi Xian stunned. I even feel like he can kill a cow with just one punch at this moment. Soon, a large table of dishes appeared on the dining table. Gudu, the two little ones couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Baba is so handsome. Just right, let's eat together. Seeing Xiaoye coming out of the shower, Yi Xian placed the last dish on the dining table and smiled. Okay. Xiaoye, who had intended to remain reserved, swallowed what she was about to say when she saw the enticing food with all its colors, flavors, and flavors. Wow, the rice cake is super delicious. Xin was eating delicious food, her eyes filled with joy. Then, you're welcome. Xiaoye planned for so long, not only for this moment, but also because she didn't have much to eat at noon. When she saw Yi Xian's food, her appetite immediately increased. Come on, eat more. Yi Xian gave Xiaoye a few pieces of meat and whispered softly, but Xiaoye's face turned red and she said, thank you. 15 minutes later, Xiaoye finished a bowl of rice without feeling anything. I'll go and serve a bowl of rice again. The pretty face felt a bit embarrassed and panicked as she stood up. Ah! One of them couldn't stand still and let out a scream. Yi Xian reacted and grabbed his slender waist, feeling super good. It hurts so much. Xiaoye, who originally wanted to stand firm, suffered from ankle pain and fell into Yi Xian's arms again. The bear even touched Yi Xian's arm, which made her face turn red. Don't move. You seem to have sprained your foot. Yi Xian looked at Xiaoye's ankle and said, wait, I'll go get the medicine box. You slow down. After returning, Yi Xian held an ice pack and applied it to his ankle while massaging it. A sprained foot injury like this, if not treated in time, is likely to develop problems. Warm words made Xiaoye's heart skip a beat, as it was the first time the opposite sex had shown such concern for her. Yi Xian originally wanted to go see Xiaoye, but he looked up and saw the white scenery under his nightgown, which made his blood boil. That girl, you're a little too confident about yourself, right? All right. After a while, Yi Xian stood up and supported Xiaoye's shoulder, saying, get up and take 2 steps to try. Xiaoye felt the intimate gesture, her face blushing even more, as if she were making mosquito-like noises. She quite enjoyed this feeling. That's great. Xiaoye took 2 steps, her face full of disbelief. I didn't expect you to massage so well, Yi Xian. Ba ba bang bang da. Xin clapped her small hands and applauded, realizing that there were so many pastries. By the way, Baba, what were you looking at just now? At this moment, Xin thought about the serious appearance of Baba just now, and the fox questioned. I'm looking at the white scenery. Hi, it's nothing. Bald-mouthed Yi Xian quickly changed his tune, which made Xiaobing frown and admire the white scenery. What is that? Hurry up and eat, my wife. I'll help you prepare the meal. Thank you. Upon hearing that guy call her wife, Xiaobing sweetly expressed her gratitude and for some reason felt the back of Yi Xian a little embarrassed. White scenery, why did he just see it? Thinking of this, Xiaobing's face turned red. The next morning, in the morning. Dingling bell as the scorching sun rose, Xiaobing was awakened by the ringing of her phone and answered, "Hello, Mom. What are you saying?" Upon hearing the words from across the street, Xiaobing sat up and all her drowsiness dissipated. "You've come to Kowloon Villa, right in front of the villa now. Why are you making such a loud noise? Hurry up and open the door." The voice of Xiaomu came from across, and at this moment, Yi Xian also woke up slowly. "Yi Xian, get up quickly. My mom is here." After hearing this, Yi Xian was taken aback and also a bit confused. "My mother-in-law is here." Xiaobing said, "Hurry up." White-eyed Yi Xian, when has this guy been taking advantage of himself? Cough, good. Yi Xian let out a dry cough. It was indeed inappropriate for his clothes to be disheveled at the moment, and the two little ones were also awakened by the conversation. "Baba, Mama, has our grandmother come yet?" The room was suddenly in chaos. 5 or 6 minutes later. Click opening the door, the person in sight was a middle-aged woman, but she looked very well maintained and was only around 30 years old at most. This. After seeing the visitor, Yi Xian looked at Xiaobing in surprise and said, "Wife, are you sure this is an aunt, not your sister?" Xiaobing. You're crazy. When Xiaobing heard that guy calling her, she called her wife in front of her mother. Does this guy have a way to die? Hee, you're Xiaoye, you're quite good at talking. Upon hearing this, Xia's mother smiled, and from her address, it seemed that she was getting along well with her daughter. Cough, are you really an aunt? Yi Xian let out a dry cough and said, "So what? I thought you were Bingming's sister when I saw you so young." "I'm sorry, Auntie." "Hi, what's up here?" Xia's mother waved her hand and walked into the villa, saying, "There are many people who misunderstand like this. After all, no woman doesn't like others praising her youth, and her impression of Yi Xian has improved significantly." "Auntie hasn't eaten yet, has she?" Yi Xian looked at the current time and continued, "You guys talk, I'll make breakfast." "Oh." Seeing the skilled and busy figure entering the kitchen, Xiaomu squinted her eyes and said, "Bingming, Xiaoye. Can still cook." Of course." At this moment, Xian Tong didn't miss any opportunity for Ba Ba to make a name for herself. Ba Ba's cooking is super delicious. Not long after, the smell of egg fried rice spilled out from the kitchen, and Xiaomu's eyes brightened. This little leaf is not easy to cook. Chapter 9. Frozen. I can't tell that Xiaoye is quite good at spoiling people. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Kowloon Villa, dining table. After eating a mouthful of egg fried rice, Xiaomu gave her thumbs up in praise. "Xiaoye, it's so powerful. Men who can cook are very family-oriented. Xiaoye is handsome, has good cooking skills, and is the biological father of 2 little guys. It would be perfect if she could be with her daughter. However, we still need to observe first, as it is crucial for our daughter's life. Soon, breakfast is over. Auntie. I heard that Jinling Ancient Style Street is quite lively, why don't we go there and play?" Thinking of brushing money, Yi Xian suggested in a loud voice that there was no reason not to go while also taking away his mother-in-law. "Oh." Upon hearing this, Xia's mother was taken aback and continued, "Okay." Taking advantage of this opportunity, one can also observe the potential son-in-law, and Xia's mother agreed. During the conversation, I arrived outside the villa. But do we need to drive 2 cars? Xia Bingning frowned and said, after all, she and her mother are both supercars. In the past, she used to let Xiaoye come when taking 2 little guys out. Do it for me. Yi Xian curled his lips and pressed the car key. The cool extended Bugatti Veyron headlights lit up, indicating that the system had foresight. Bugatti Veyron Extended Edition. Xia's mother looked at Yi Xian in surprise and said, Xiaoye, is this car yours? Indeed, Xia's mother was somewhat incredulous. According to the information she received, Yi Xian should be a student and from an ordinary family background. Yi Xian nodded slightly and said with a smile, I did business during my college years and made some money. A little money. Xia Bingning glanced at the extended version of the supercar, which is said to be worth 30 million yuan, can you call it a little money? Get into the car. Mama, look at the bag that Baba bought for you. Xin Tong Tong saw the bag in the car and assisted as she spoke. This bag won't be a limited edition, will it? Each one costs 300,000 yuan. Buy 3 at once. Xia's mother was also taken aback. She thought it would be great if someone bought a bag for her girlfriend, and her prospective son-in-law would directly pair her daughter with 3. Why buy so expensive? Xia Bingning's face turned slightly red, and Yi Xian waved his hand and said, Xiao Qian, if it looks good, I'll buy it. Frozen, I can't tell that Xiaoye is quite good at spoiling people. Mom, upon hearing her mother's words, Xia Bingning glared at her, wondering why she would spoil her. Ancient style block. Auntie, feel free to buy whatever you want today. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and smiled, saying that such a good opportunity to make money should not be missed. Baba, we also need it. The 2 little ones were chattering and acting coquettishly at this moment, and Xia Bingning chuckled. These 2 little ones are really not worth fighting against. Quickly arrived at the luxury goods area. Welcome, may I help you? The beautiful waitress has a pear vortex hanging at the corner of her mouth, giving a friendly feeling to the neighboring lady. Grandma, those clothes are so beautiful. Xin blinked her sparkling eyes and said, while the sales girl smiled and said, 2 little beauties, they have amazing eyes. This is the latest model in our store this year. A well-known designer designed the Yunjin Qipao, which took 6 months from production to final product. The craftsmanship is extremely complex. So the price is quite expensive and requires 3 million renminbi. Auntie, I think this outfit fits your temperament quite well. Help me wrap it up. Upon hearing this, Xia Mu was taken aback and said, is it a bit expensive? It's okay, good things can only reflect their value when worn by the aunt. Upon hearing this, Xia Bingning couldn't help but roll her eyes. Did this guy put honey on his mouth? By the way, this shawl is also good. Yi Xian looked at the shawl next to him, which matched well with his qipao and said. Sir, these are Keisai shawls, each costing 300,000 renminbi. After pausing for a moment, the salesperson continued, we have a total of 6 styles here. May I know which color you would like, sir? 6 options. Listening to the salesperson's words, Yi Xian pondered for a moment and said, that's all for now. Aunt and Bingning happen to have 3 of you each. Cough. Xia Bingning was taken aback when she heard this. She bought 6 pieces of Keisai shawl at once. Are you crazy? Okay, sir. The salesperson looked at Xia Bingning with envy and said, Miss, your husband is so generous. Me and him. Xia Bingning wanted to say something, but when she saw the 2 little ones, she finally sighed. Baba, look at these clothes. They look so beautiful. Buy. Seeing 2 little guys gathered around a tang suit, it was clearly a luxury item. In no time, I bought a bunch and the salesperson sweetly said to the cashier, Sir, we spent a total of 6.8 million renminbi. Xia Bingning said, Yi Xian, isn't that too much? Indeed, Xia Bingning didn't expect these clothes to cost so much money. Swipe your card. Yi Xian shook his head slightly and said nonchalantly, "It's my honor to spend money on auntie and your mother." "Hee, Xiaoye has cost you a lot." Xia's mother accepted it calmly, because this was the only way to make her daughter owe more trouble to her potential son. Lol. Her impression of Yi Xian became more and more satisfying as her mother. Lol looked at her son. Lol. "It's okay, auntie's happiness is the most important thing." Yi Xian smiled and said, seeing that the salespeople's eyes were full of small stars. "Oh my god, even such a bold boyfriend would really want one." Ding! Congratulations to the host for consuming 6.8 million renminbi and obtaining a wealth of 68 million renminbi. 2 hours later. Leaving the luxury goods area, Xia Bingning looked at Yi Xian with a complex expression. This time alone, the cost was over 10 million yuan. "That guy, are you really just a student with so much money?" Wow! Not long after leaving the luxury goods store, the group arrived at a bustling place. "Baba, the bracelet on the stands is so beautiful." Xin looked excitedly at the stage and smiled, "If I wear it, it will definitely look great." "Ladies and gentlemen, have you come up to challenge yet?" At this moment, the host on stage smiled and said, "Today is the last day of the poetry competition. The one with the highest score in the competition will receive a jade worth 500,000 hibiscus seeds. It's a good opportunity." A poetry competition. Yi Xian couldn't help but be taken aback upon seeing it, seriously suspecting whether it was intentionally arranged by the system. "Can we win over Baba for you?" "Okay. Xin Tong heard Baba's words and blinked her crescent moon-like eyes, eagerly anticipating. "Baba, come on." Two little guys raised their powder fists to cheer on Baba. Xia Bingning was taken aback for a moment. "What's that guy doing, fighting poetry?" "Oh." Xia's mother's eyes lit up and she asked her daughter, "Ice is frozen, can Xiaoye still write poetry?" Cough, "I don't know either." With a dry cough, Yi Xian had already arrived on stage. The host saw the handsome guy with high looks and said, "Applause and encourage this handsome guy." Several judges also looked over at this moment, holding a poetry competition aimed at promoting traditional Chinese culture. This poem is called Song of Everlasting Sorrow. Yi Xianwei squinted his eyes and fought hard to win the prize for the two little ones. The Emperor of Han valued his beauty and devoted himself to the country, but he could not seek the imperial palace for many years. The young family has a daughter who has just grown up and is raised in a deep boudoir that no one knows. Natural beauty is hard to give up, once chosen by the king's side. Looking back, there was a charming smile, and the 6 palaces were pink and colorless. In an instant, everyone seemed to have traveled back to the era of Yang Yuhuan, Emperor Ming of Tang, under the effect of the sound being present in their surroundings. In front of me appeared the beauty of the Tang Ming Emperor's election, who once fell in love with Yang Yuhuan, the daughter of the Yang family. In the end, she was often accompanied by the king's side, and even saw the stunning Yang Guifei looking back, causing the 6 palaces to be pale and gloomy. Taiyuan prosperous era, eternal love. Summer's mother felt the immensely shocking poetry, her face full of shock. Frozen, little leaf. Such a high literary talent. Chapter 10. Yi Xian, please clarify who is your wife. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. It's okay, isn't it? Xia Bingning looked at Yi Xian and breathed a deep sigh of relief, with a strange expression in her eyes. Mama lies. That's right, Baba is really amazing. Xin Tong was unhappy and looked at Mama angrily. Although they couldn't understand what Baba was reciting, they must be super powerful. The onlookers were also stunned at this moment. This poem is much better than those before, and the artistic conception is so magical that it seems like a personal experience. This guy, He's amazing, so handsome, so talented. It would be great if Obama were my boyfriend. Mad, I need this talent to win the goddess every minute. The crowd in the venue was discussing, and the girl looked up at the stage full of admiration and admiration. The spring cold bestows a bath in the Huaqin pool, while the hot spring water slides and cleanses the condensed fat. When the attendant lifted the delicate and powerless child, it was the time to receive new blessings. Clouds and hair adorned with golden steps sway, while hibiscus curtains warm the spring night. Spring nights are short and bitter, and the sun rises high. From then on, kings do not go to court early. The poetry gradually entered a beautiful state, and the judges were also amazed. Okay. What a bitter spring night with a short day rising high, from then on the king will not go to court early. Amazing. The judges were amazed, they couldn't imagine a young person having such literary attainments. It has to be said that this is the most talented young person they have ever seen. Poetry, artistic conception, charm especially, the immersive feeling makes people sink into it and unable to extricate themselves. Pop 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 pop. At the end of the poem, the four judges stood up immediately and generously applauded, expressing their admiration. When the crowd came to their senses, they also heard warm applause. You're so talented, handsome guy. I love you. Many girls have boldly expressed their love, perhaps they can attract the attention of the male god. Hee, Baba is amazing. The two little ones clapped and applauded excitedly, their eyes filled with joy. Xia Bingning rolled her eyes and moaned coquettishly, if there's anything, just know it's going to make a name for itself. This girl. Seeing her daughter's appearance, Xia's mother smiled faintly and didn't know how to. Are you jealous? Detect that my wife Xia Bingning is jealous and give her 2 billion renminbi as a gift. Upon arriving at Yi Xian's audience, he couldn't help but be taken aback. Is his wife jealous? 2 billion. I couldn't help but look at Xia Bingning's muttering appearance just now, cough cough. I didn't expect that girl to be jealous. Such a beautiful wife, if we can't take him down, it's better to kill him with a piece of tofu. The system is becoming more and more playable, and even those who are jealous can earn 2 billion. Nah. Yi Xian gave 2 brocade boxes to Xin Tong Tong and said, Baba has one. Wow, thank you, Baba. I love you so much, Mua. 2 little guys kissed Baba, one on the left and the other on the right, making the surrounding crowd envious. Click. When the girls saw this scene, their hearts were shattered, and their pretty faces were lost. Ah, this. How could that handsome guy is so young, why did he get married and have children? Why do you feel so uncomfortable? Love ends before it even starts, woo-woo, how about it? Your man is amazing, isn't he? Seeing his jealous and beautiful wife, Yi Xian joked. Upon hearing this, Xia Bingning blushed and said, What are you talking about? Stealing a glance at her mother, Xia Bingning really had the heart to strangle someone. She said in front of her mother that she was her own man. She's crazy. After wandering for a while, I came to a Chinese restaurant. Mama, look beautiful. Xin proudly held a lotus seed bracelet, which Baba had won for them. Xia Bingning said, Are these 2 little guys stimulating her? I'm so angry, I feel like I've been hurting them for over 3 years now. What's there? Xia Bingning couldn't bear it and rolled her eyes, saying, I'm not without it. Auntie, what can I eat? Seeing the 3 mothers murmuring, Yi Xian curled his lips and asked for advice. I can do anything, let's freeze it a bit. Summer's mother felt her sour daughter, giving her some comfort. After ordering the dishes, watched the waiter leave. At a certain moment, Xia Bingning's gaze fell on the nearby card seat, Zhang Xiaotian. It was obvious that she was one of the people pursuing her, but at this moment, she was staring at Yi Xian with an unpleasant expression, which made her pretty face cold. "I'll go to the restroom." After getting up, Xia Bingning arrived at the restaurant corridor. "Frozen, so clever." Zhang Xiaotian let out a dry cough and spoke with a guilty conscience. "Zhang Xiaotian." Xia Bing narrowed her eyes and said, "I warn you, Yi Xian is my boyfriend. If you dare to take action against him, I will make the Zhang family disappear from Jinling." "Bingning, you." Zhang Xiaotian's eyelids twitched wildly. He knew that Xia Bingning was not joking, and she had the strength. After all, behind her was the Xia group. And the Xia group only has Xia Bingning as a daughter, and even if they argue with her father now, it is only temporary. "Get lost." Before Zhang Xiaotian could finish speaking, he was scolded by Xia Bingning, "Don't challenge my patience." Good Zhang Xiaotian swallowed his saliva and had the heart to kill Yi Xian, but Xia Bingning warned him not to disobey. "Damn it." Zhang Xiaotian punched the wall with a fist, his face full of displeasure. That Yi Xian, what kind of luck did he have? How could Xia Bingning do this for him? "Xia group, it can only be mine." With a clenching of his fists, Zhang Xiaotian's eyes were blazing at a certain moment. Xia Bingning and the Xia group couldn't do without either. Since that kid wanted to die, he would fulfill him. "Bingning, what are you doing here?" Yi Xuanhu's suspicious voice came from behind, and Xia Bingning's pretty and cold face immediately turned red. "Yi Xian, why did you come out?" Xia Bingning looked at the direction of Zhang Xiaotian's departure and breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Zhang Xiaotian had left. "Don't I worry. What if someone kidnapped such a beautiful wife?" Pushy. Upon hearing something from someone, Xia Bingning couldn't help but laugh and give it a blank look. "Abducted. You think I'm a 3-year-old child? Not right. You. Who is your wife?" Xia Bingning glared at Yi Xian and turned to walk towards the restaurant. Her words were sweet in her heart, not only because she didn't dislike the guy's nickname, but also because she enjoyed it very much. Hee, this girl. Seeing Xia Bingning's beautiful back, Yi Xian's uncle smiled at the corner of his mouth and said, "It's getting more and more interesting." Returning to the dining table, Xia's mother glanced at her daughter, whose face was slightly dizzy. She was young and full of vitality. "Xiaoye, let me see if you can find a time to collect the certificate." After a moment of contemplation, Xia Mu continued, Xin Tong Tong is already so big. With the certificate, you can also take care of her in a proper manner. Puff. Cough cough. Xia Bingning, who was preparing to suppress the shock, heard that all the tea sprayed out. The little wolf looked at Xia's mother in disbelief and said, "Mom, what are you saying? Just get the certificate for whatever you say.